What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome back to another episode of The Drop. This, of course, is a weekly series where I let you guys know what games are coming out across the PS4, Xbox One, PC, Switch, whatever they might be coming out on, we will talk about it right here. And this week is the first big release week of the year, with Resident Evil 2 coming out on the PlayStation 4 and the PC, as well as the Xbox One. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. To start things off this week, let's start off with our headliner, Resident Evil 2, again coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. The genre-defining masterpiece Resident Evil 2 returns completely rebuilt from the ground up for a deeper narrative experience. Using Capcom's RE engine, Resident Evil 2 offers a fresh take on the classic survival horror saga with breathtakingly realistic visuals, heart-poundingly immersive audio, a new over-the-shoulder camera, and modernized controls on top of gameplay modes from the original game. In Resident Evil 2, the classic action, tense exploration, and puzzle-solving gameplay that define the Resident Evil series returns. Players join rookie police officer Leon Kennedy and college student Claire Redfield, who are thrust together by a disastrous outbreak in Raccoon City that transformed its population into deadly zombies. Both Leon and Claire have their own separate playable campaigns, allowing players to see the story from both characters' perspectives. The fate of these two fan-favorite characters is in players' hands as they work together to survive and get to the bottom of what is behind the terrifying attack on the city. Will they make it out alive? For those that don't know, Resident Evil 2 originally launched back in 1998 on the PS1, the GameCube, the Nintendo 64, the Dreamcast, and the PC. I think I got all of my bases covered on that, but it is one of the best horror games of all time, and without a doubt, one of the best games of all time in general. Some of those mechanics are still foundational to where we see horror games and shooter games going today. So last year, whenever Capcom announced there was a Resident Evil 2 remake coming out on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, people were obviously ecstatic about that, and for a good reason. The game looks fantastic. Now, if you didn't get the chance, there was a one-shot demo that was released a couple of weeks back, where essentially you had one shot to go through the entire demo on the PS4, Xbox One, or PC, and that's it. You couldn't go back and replay it, nothing along those lines. It just gave you a taste of what to expect. So I dove in on the PC, and let me tell you, this game looks absolutely stunning. The gameplay is stellar, the shooting mechanics are so smooth and just perfect. It is a fantastic representation of Resident Evil 2. They nailed everything about it. Now, without a doubt, this is going to be one of the biggest releases of the spring season, which I consider us to be in right now. So if you did want to dive in and check out Resident Evil 2 on the PS4, the Xbox One, or the PC, it is coming out this week, and it is totally worth it because the game looks awesome. Next up, we have the Hong Kong Massacre coming out on the PS4 and the PC. Blast your way through the streets of Hong Kong in a fast-paced top-down shooter. Inspired by classic action movies, the Hong Kong Massacre places you at the center of a hard-boiled revenge story filled with brutal cinematic shootouts and vivid underworld locations. Take on the role of a former police detective bent on exacting vengeance for his partner's murder and use a mixture of raw firepower, slow motion, and dive-dodge mechanics to tear your way through the criminal ranks. Dive through windows or dodge behind cover. Every shot is lethal, so stay aware of your surroundings and exploit the environment however you can. When the heat is on, you can slow down time and plan for your next move. Avoiding bullets while taking out enemies is crucial for survival, but beware, your slow motion ability is limited. Plan fast, think ahead, and bring down the bad guys unscathed. Each level features a range of challenges, allowing you to unlock new weapons as you progress, trading bullets from restaurants to rooftops across a moody, crime-riddled city. Now, for those that are checking out the gameplay saying, hey, this looks a little bit familiar, where have I seen this before? It's basically Hotline Miami, but with sleeping dogs and a little bit of Max Payne thrown in. And if that sounds like a fun time to you, well, guess what? You're right, because this stuff looks very cool. For those that played Hotline Miami, it pretty much laid down the foundation for where top-down arcade shooters were going to be going over the next 5 to 10 years, and that's pretty much what we have seen. With that being said, the Hong Kong Massacre is by no means a carbon copy of Hotline Miami, or even a reskin at that. It is adding in some pretty awesome mechanics, such as slow motion and incredibly destructible environments. I'm digging where this is going. So if you want to get involved in this tale of vengeance, then by all means check out the Hong Kong Massacre, which is coming out this week on the PS4 and the PC. And to round out this week's releases, we have FutureGrind coming out on the PS4, the Nintendo Switch, and the PC. Nail the perfect line in the future's most challenging stunt sport. Grab your bike and hit the rails in FutureGrind, a stylish stunt platformer all about the tricks, skill, and speed. Use your futuristic bike to chain together huge combos on tracks made of floating rails, but watch out, touch the wrong color and you will explode instantly. Keep your sponsors happy and you'll find yourself earning new bikes and racing mind-bending tracks built for the pros, but not everything is as it seems. Someone is watching your every move. Who is it and what do they really want with you? FutureGrind is a very strange game because it essentially marries the arcade racer or even a Trials Fusion style game with something of a rhythm-based puzzle game like Guitar Hero or Amplitude. It's a strange little balance here, but of course you can check out the gameplay and see if it's something you might be interested in. I thought it was worth mentioning here on the drop, and again, it is coming out this week on the PS4, the PC, and the Nintendo Switch if you did want to check it out. It might be your thing, it might not, but hey, it's an interesting looking game that you probably didn't know about, so hey, I'm doing my job. And to round out this week's episode, we have some honorable mentions. First off, episode 2 of Life is Strange 2 Rules is coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Smite is making its way to the Nintendo Switch, coming from Hi-Rez Studios, a pretty solid game that has a solid following as well. And Shadow of the Tomb Raider is getting its newest DLC called The Nightmare on the PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. So that wraps up this week's episode of The Drop. If you did enjoy it, be sure to drop me a like down below. And if you happen to be brand new to the channel, this is a series I do once a week every single Sunday, but there is a ton of content throughout the week for you to enjoy, including a podcast hosted 5 days a week. It's always a good time. But as for right now, I appreciate you guys watching this particular video. I will talk to you soon. Peace.